Hey BookTube, this is going to be an update on my Project Zero TBR, in which I attempt to read all the books on my shelves that are older than 1 year old. So the first one is going to be the Epic of Gilgamesh, and that one I actually listened to the audiobook. I have a physical copy of it as well, but I can't find it right now, but I do plan on going back to read the physical copy sometime maybe this year, because I did enjoy it and I want to go back and experience it again, because with the audiobook I'm not really going to grasp the full story when I listen to an audiobook. Most of the time when I listen to an audiobook is to fall asleep, so I listen to it and set the sleep timer for about 30 minutes before I go to sleep, and that's what I do for audiobooks. I didn't do it for that one. I just listened to it straight throughout the day. So I just want to get the full experience, go back and reread the physical copy. The next one is Recitatif, and this is by Toni Morrison. This is a short story, a little over 30 pages. The book itself is thicker because the introduction is longer than the actual story. So in this one, Toni Morrison says that she is doing an experiment on the reader, in which she tells a story of a white woman and a black woman, and you don't know which one is which, and it's up to the reader to decide. Now, I understand what she was trying to do, but I don't think it was actually executed, or maybe it's a sign of the times, but I just didn't see anything in either one of the women that would make it clear as to who was black and white, or maybe I'll say it actually didn't matter in the story, or it mattered at all. So I just didn't really get the point of this story. Maybe back when this was written, maybe it would have been more relatable, but I just didn't find that it was in 2024. So yeah, didn't really enjoy this one. Found it kind of pointless, but I'm still going to keep it on my shelf because maybe I'll reread it again in the future and understand more of what she was trying to say. Next one by Toni Morrison was Beloved, and I absolutely love this book. When I first started it, I didn't think that I was going to like it because it was a bit confusing. Well, I'm not going to say a bit. It was a lot confusing. Just the way the words are put together. Just some of the things that she was saying in the story, and it was jumping around. It was confusing. But towards the end, I was like, wow, this woman can really write. Like that last chapter, those last couple of chapters blew my mind, the way that she was writing, and I loved it. So I actually went and got the matching copy of Jazz and Paradise. That's the other two that are in this trilogy, and I'll be reading those sometime soon. The next one is Parable of the Sower, and I have Parable of the Talents by Octavia Butler, and I've had these two for a while. I love the cover on these. Now, Parable of the Sower, this one is this one tells a story in a dystopian society, and I really enjoy Parable of the Sower because I felt like it's something that actually could happen. And if you read it, you'll realize that it starts in 2024, and some of the things that were mentioned in it are some of the things that are happening now. So it's kind of interesting just to see how they were able to deal with that and to push through and start their own community. Really love Parable of the Sower. Parable of the Talents, I didn't really like that one as much. It was like a continuation where it follows the daughter, the mother. Oh, I'm not going to say what happened to the mother, but ends up following the daughter in the second novel, and I really wasn't a fan of that one. If you are familiar with Parable of the Sower and the Talents, you know that there was supposed to be a third novel, but Octavia Butler ended up passing before she could finish it. So maybe if she would have finished it, then maybe Parable of the Talents would have had a better ending or conclusion in a third novel, but I didn't really enjoy this. And definitely recommend Parable of the Sower, though, if you're into dystopian fiction. And My final one for my Project Zero TBR is How to Read a Book by Mortimer J. Adler. This one has a lot of helpful information, but I feel like this one could have been cut down by at least half. It felt repetitive towards the middle. Definitely the first few chapters give a lot of good information, especially on how to speed up your reading and better understand what you're reading. And I've been implementing these techniques in my reading lately. What I've taken from it the most is to read the blurb on the back, read the introduction, go through all of the table of contents, read through some of the chapters, but don't read everything. And it also mentions that some books should be read slowly, but a lot of books can be read faster, and you don't really need to slow down in order to grasp what it's about. A lot of good information in this. I'm not going into everything that it's about, but if you get a chance to maybe read a summary of this, I think it can improve your reading if that's something that you're looking to do. So with these books that I've read so far, I have not unhauled any from my Project Zero TBR, and I'll see you in the next video to let you know if I'm going to keep the books that I read or if I'm going to unhaul them. Thank you so much for watching. See you soon.